want to be happier? Do you want to make more friends? Do you want to be more successful? If you answered no, no, and no, this speech is for you. If you answered yes to any of those questions, there's a speech over in the next room about how you can fill your life with daisies, pixie dust, and your grandmother's homemade pies. Today, however, I'd like to teach you how to be a friendless, miserable failure who never tastes their grandma's homemade pies. I'll go over this in 7 points. 7 techniques to achieve peak depression. Before I go further, however, I'd like to acknowledge that this speech was inspired by a YouTube video by CGP Grey. All points, however, are original. Firstly, avoid social gatherings. Imagine this. A friend invites you to a board game night next week at 6 o'clock. Unfortunately, you already have plans for that time. Specifically, plans to doomscroll Twitter for 3 hours. Spending time playing games with friends will make you far too happy, and as such, it should be avoided at all costs. Hey, a few people are going to be playing board games at my house Thursday at 6. Do you want to join us? Oh, sorry, I can't. I'm busy then. I'm gonna be folding the dishes. Researchers Lubomírsky and Margolis conducted an experiment where they forced people, introverts and extroverts alike, to act more extroverted. The finding? Everyone, even the people who didn't like the idea, found themselves happier after acting more extroverted. So, avoid that. Secondly, don't improve yourself. My family is good friends with a woman who speaks a dozen languages. Actually more, but she doesn't say how many because we'd feel too bad about ourselves. Now, your first instinct upon hearing about such a thing might be to wish that you could do that. This is a problem. Instead, remind yourself that she was probably imbued with some incredible ability to learn languages in seconds. She probably came out of the womb saying, "Bonjour, bonjour." Привет, mama. Fíjate que esto es gracioso. Always remember that anyone who's better than you at anything was just born that way. You never stand a chance, so never try. Thirdly, ruin your sleep. Now, considering you're attending an NCFCA tournament, you've probably got this one down pretty well. Still, though, you can learn more about how and why to lose sleep. Now, the science behind this is kind of complicated, and I'm too dumb to understand it. But the Sleep Foundation explains that the effects of poor or inconsistent sleep include I'm sorry, I can't remember. Oh, right. Memory loss. Myself, however, I notice, as does my family, that when I don't get enough sleep, I'm very irritable. While I begin to empty the dishwasher in the morning, or more realistically at noon, after my mom asked me to do so 5 times, my brother may begin to empty his part of the dishwasher simultaneously. Naturally, I respond calmly, recommending that he get out of my way, stop bumping me. Now, if you'd like to learn more about how you can lose sleep, I'd highly recommend staring at your phone in the hours before bed, or even better, while in bed. And this technique is also great in helping to achieve our next tactic. 4, focus on the negative. Have you ever used your phone to watch a video of an adorable cat, dog, or 4-year-old? If so, please stop. Because this is far too beneficial of a use of technology. Instead, consider scrolling through tweets from people you hate, or Facebook posts about how we're all going to die in 3 months. For this last one, you can choose to read posts about how global warming will kill us all, or about how the evil globalists at the World Economic Forum will kill us all, depending on your political affiliation. Now, whenever you see such a thing, make sure to post in the comments about offering thoughts and prayers before immediately forgetting to pray for anyone else. This brings us to 5. Assume the worst of others. Now, when my brother was about 3, he got a hat as a hand-me-down from family. And considering it was a hat and he was 3, he was ecstatic. But then came the shocking moment when he made a horrifying discovery. The hat had a hole in it, a small hole right at the top of the beanie. There were 3 other members of our family who were home at the time who could have done such a thing. Here were our 3 suspects. Firstly, Caleb, baby face, size, age, 6 months, occupation, professional baby. Secondly, Lily doesn't have a nickname. Size, age, 5, occupation, professional nose picker. Thirdly, Rosie, mama, size, age, it's impolite to ask. Occupation, mama. The judge quickly reached his decision and announced the verdict to the household. Lily poked a hole in my hat. The trial was over. Lily had lost. There was no chance that the hat was just knit in a way that happened to leave a small gap at the top, or anything ridiculous like that. Lily was promptly given her sentence, living for 13 more years in a house with 2 brothers and no sisters. Now, I would encourage all of you to be like my brother in this story. Immediately assume the worst of everyone around you. This will ensure that you dislike them, and consequently, they dislike you. This brings us to number 6. Ignore your friends and family. Now, a few years ago, I was trying to make better friends with another family who I only sort of knew. But I wasn't sure if they thought I was cool or weird, or what if it's really awkward and I talk to them, but they just don't want to talk, but then I keep talking and so naturally, I tried to start conversations with them, only trying to not seem too eager to talk to them. Like perhaps I had just stumbled into the conversation by accident. This worked wonders for my ability to alienate some of the only people I actually kind of knew. By acting unenthusiastic when you see friends and family, you make them think you don't care about them, further breaking down your relationships. 7, shoot for the stars and land in the dirt. Is your house dirty? Tell yourself that today you will clean your entire house. Are you applying to colleges? Now would be a great time to rest all of your self-worth on whether or not you get into Harvard. I'm doing a fantastic job at this. I set a goal before this tournament of winning the tournament. I have no strategy for how to do so. Aside from, I guess, try to write a speech well. Now, the moment you fall slightly short of one of these lofty goals, you'll feel like you failed in comparison. Woe is me. I only cleaned 1 floor of the house. I only got into Yale, not I got 9th place instead of 1st. Now, you can apply this principle on a broader scale by promising yourself that you'll live a perfect life with nothing but daisies, pixie dust, and your grandmother's homemade pies. Anything short of that will feel like a failure. So congratulations. Once you've done all this, you're miserable. In all seriousness though, how is this actually applicable to our lives? Taking a step back from the sarcasm, these are all things I either once did or continue to do. And they all have something in common. Putting our desires above our needs, the needs of others, or the glory of God. If there's one thing you remember from this speech, I hope you remember to put God first, others second, and yourself third. That, and that Lily poked a hole